documenting some genocides all around the world, and so far I got 6, and one might be. So, number 1 is the Chinese genocide, then you have the Yemeni genocide, you have the Rohingya Muslim genocide in Myanmar, you got Boko Haram, these damn terrorists are just genociding anybody who disagree with them. You got the religious minorities in Nigeria, and then you got the Nagorno-Karabakh, the ethnic Armenians. In 2020, thousands were killed, hundreds of civilians. So this is the ethnic Armenians in Azerbaijan, I don't know, but Nagorno-Karabakh. Religious minorities in Nigeria, the Myanmar genocide, Boko Haram genocide, Yemeni genocide, which has killed 233,000, of which the United States government is responsible for, and the Chinese genocide, of which the United States government is not responsible for. So there is a genocide. It looks to be a genocide. So far, all that people have reported is that there's been 1 million put in jail. 1 million have been put in jail or concentration camps, but that was in 2018. So it's probably 2 million. It's probably been 2 million Uyghurs. So they're killing the Uyghurs. This is just like the Rohingya Muslims or Muslims too. So the Uyghurs, China is killing the Uyghurs. The one-party China state are killing Uyghur Muslims. They're also killing ethnic Kazakhs, so they're killing all the Burats. And they're killing ethnic Kyrgyz. I guess the Kyrgyz people are called the Kyrgyz people. So they're killing the Kyrgyzstani people. They're killing the Kazakhstani people. They're killing the Uyghur Muslims. Right now there's 11 million total Uyghurs in China. Apparently, the Chinese president Xi Jinping took a top-secret decision in 2014 to kill 1/3 of all the Uyghurs, lock up 1/3, and then convert 1/3 to the Chinese Communist Party ideology. So at the very least, we know that 2 million Uyghurs have been arrested and they're being held in these concentration camps against their will. We know that. Since 2017, this is Wikipedia, the Chinese government under the Xi Jinping administration has pursued a policy which has led to more than 1 million Muslims, the majority of them Uyghurs, being held in secretive detention camps without any legal process. Critics of the policy have described it as the Sinicization of Xinjiang and have called it an ethnocide or cultural genocide, while many activists, independent NGOs, human rights experts, government officials, and the East Turkestan government in exile have called it a genocide. The U.S. government has called it a genocide. So in particular, it's hard to know what's going on in these, secretive, authoritarian, dictatorial nations. North Korea, we don't know what's going on in North. We don't know what's going on in China. Chinese people don't even know what the hell is going on in China. But they're saying that these are state-sponsored re-education camps, so that's nice. They're just, re-teaching the Uyghurs to be different kind of people. The suppression of Uyghur religious practices, political indoctrination. There's severe ill treatment, testimonials of alleged human rights abuses, including forced sterilization and contraception. Chinese government statistics show that from 2015 to 2018, birth rates in the mostly Uyghur regions of Hotan and Kashgar plunged by more than 60%. In the same period, the birth rate of the whole country decreased by 9.69% from 12.07 to 10.9 per 1,000 people. International reactions have been mixed, with 54 United Nations member states supporting China's policies in Xinjiang, which decreased to 45 in October 2020, and 39 countries condemning China's human rights abuses in Xinjiang. In July and August 2020, human rights groups have called on the International Criminal Court, the ICC, and the United Nations Human Rights Council to investigate Chinese officials for allegations of crimes against humanity and genocide. So yeah, the United Nations needs to go in there and see what the hell is going on in there. The United Nations needs to go into Russia too and get Navalny out of jail. We need to be good to the Chinese people and the Russian people. Why we've been, the people are we're all basically the same, right? It's the damn governments that get in the way. So, this Uyghur genocide, it's spelled Uyghur, so it looks like Uyghur genocide, but it's Uyghur. The Uyghur people are being killed out, just like the Rohingya Muslims are being killed out in Myanmar. And so, let's see, Biden, he said that the Uyghur genocide in China is one of the worst human rights abuses in the world today, so Joe Biden is acknowledging this. He's also acknowledging that he calls it the Saudi-led invasion of Yemen needs to stop, or our participation needs to stop. So we know for sure that 233,000 Yemeni people have been killed since 2015, since Joe and Barack Obama gave all that fuel and the F-15s and Abrams tanks to Saudi Arabia so they could go to war. I mean, was it $500 billion deal? And then $100 billion, that was Donald. Donald did a $500 billion deal, arms deal with Saudi Arabia, and then Barack and Joe Biden did a $100 billion deal. And Joe Biden's Secretary of Defense is Mr. Raytheon. He made $500,000 off of Raytheon, and Raytheon made bank off of the Yemeni genocide. So there's starvation, political indoctrination. So these, they're all being arrested. 1 to 2 million people. I would say thousands have been killed. I think it's safe to say thousands have been killed. They're killing ethnic Kazakhs and ethnic Kyrgyzstanis and the Uyghur Muslims. There's only 11 million. They got 2 million in these camps. So that's a big chunk of the population. Was that 10-20% of all the population of the Uyghurs are already in these concentration camps? These indoctrination, these madrasas, they're getting sleep deprivation, forced injections, are being abused, forced sterilization. Now China says it's for terrorism. They're trying to educate them so they, aren't terrorists anymore. There's one report of one Uyghur who's got 20 years in prison for petty or outright trumped-up charges. So they're getting thrown not just into these concentration camps, but they're being thrown into the prison system too. Now, China says about Pompeo that he's doing all this. He's a doomsday clown. He's the joke of the century. Pompeo's just doing all this dumb shit because he's trying to stay relevant. In July 2019, you had 22 countries, Japan and the United Kingdom, that signed a letter telling China to end their mass arbitrary detentions and to allow the United Nations in. So far, the United Nations has not gone in. The United States government has banned cotton and tomato imports from China over forced labor concerns. So they have slave labor, apparently. China, this one party, how long has Jinping been in there? I bet Putin's been in there for 20 years. They want to sit there and say that Evo Morales is a dictator because he was in there for 12 years, and they want to say that Maduro is a dictator because he's been in there for 7 years. Putin's been in there for nearly 20 years, and it says he's been president since 2012, so I guess that's not. He's been in there for 8 years, but we know China, okay? It's one state. The party runs the whole state. So we have like a two-party system that's like basically one party, but China has just a one-party system. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Just the Communist Party, that's it. So, yeah, why does the American empire ignore so many genocides, or even worse, perpetuating the genocide? The shit that we're doing in Yemen, that's Nazi shit. Nazis were perpetuating genocide, and they're doing it with our guns, our weapons, our airplanes, our tanks, and our fuel. We are the United States government to help Saudi Arabia kill the poor Yemeni people. The United States government is helping Saudi Arabia's F-15, they refuel these F-15 in the air, right? Give them gas in the air so they never have to stop flying. So it's kind of incredible that the U.S. government condemns the Chinese genocide, or the China state government genocide of the Uyghurs, but the United Kingdom had basically accepted it. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson narrowly avoided a defeat in Parliament on Tuesday over lawmakers voted against the controversial proposal seeking to bar trade deals with any country deemed by the UK High Court to be committing genocide. The amendment to the government's post-Brexit trade bill is largely designed to force international action in addressing China's alleged human rights abuses against the Uyghur minority in the far western Xinjiang region. Campaigners had said that if the proposal passed, Britain would become the first country in the world to allow genocide cases to be considered in domestic courts. So they were going to do this Brexit deal, and Boris Johnson gets his votes 319 to 308. So he just barely has a working majority of 11. Under the proposals, minorities alleging that they've been the subject of genocide can, for the first time, apply to the High Court of England and ask for judges to determine if a country trading with the UK has perpetuated genocide. If the court makes a preliminary ruling against that country, Britain's government would be forced to revoke bilateral trade agreements. That's fantastic. That would have been a great move. The move had earlier passed by a majority in Parliament's upper house of Lords and had the backing of all opposition parties and a significant number of rebel conservatives. Leaders from Britain's Jewish, Muslim, and Christian communities also supported it. The vote came as outgoing U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo declared Tuesday that China's policies on Muslims and ethnic minorities in Xinjiang constitute crimes against humanity and genocide. So yeah, it looks like training camps. These are concentration camps. They were arrested 1 to 2 million people. Yeah, what, 1 to 2 million people are fucking doing terrorism? That goes against, the whole thing. Well, you can't arrest them all, but, in China, they're like, yeah, we can. We can arrest all of them. That's what we're going to do. And so to think that hundreds or not thousands have died, that's, so yeah, I think there's a genocide going on in China. And also in Yemen and Myanmar, Boko Haram's causing one. There's religious minorities in Nigeria, and then there's the ethnic Armenians are being genocided in the Nagorno-Karabakh region, the area, Azerbaijan, somewhere around there. Even Janet Yellen says that China is guilty of horrendous human rights abuses. Even Janet Yellen, the Fed, the Federal Reserve Chair, she knows. So the U.S. government is at least acknowledging it. Now we need to put some power. We need to put some oomph behind it. And the U.S. empire should quit ignoring so many goddamn genocides. The U.S. empire, we're the police of the world. So we need to stop genocide. Okay? Alright. Peace.